Welcome back to Common Thread. I'm Jordan, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple linen tote. Linen is a great alternative to cotton, as linen grows from flax, which is hardier than cotton plants, so it can grow in harsher conditions and requires less water. So for this project, you're going to need linen or canvas, some matching thread, scissors, and some sort of fabric marker or pencil, a ruler, and some pins. You'll also need a sewing machine that can do a straight and a zigzag stitch. Once your linen is ironed and folded on top of itself, we're going to make two rectangles. The larger one is going to be 13 inches by 18 inches, and that's going to make us a small to medium sized tote bag. And just be sure that you are cutting with the grain of the fabric. And the next one is going to be 24 inches by 2.5 inches, and this is going to give us a nice 1-inch strap for our bag. So if you'd like a wider strap, you can give yourself 3 inches or 3.5 inches. And the same goes for the bag. If you want a larger bag, add 1 or 2 inches to both lengths. And then just cut out, making sure that you're keeping both layers of fabric nicely together so that you have two of the same shapes once you're done cutting everything out. Linen does have a bit of a mind of its own, so just watch out when you're cutting that it's not slipping away from you or trying to do all sorts of funny things. And once you're done cutting those shapes out, you can fold your strap pieces in half widthwise. You probably won't need a iron for this, just because linen presses so easily. You can often do it with your hand. And just keeping those all nicely folded. We'll set those aside for now and do a straight stitch around the edge of our bag. Now we'll follow that up with a zigzag stitch to keep everything from unraveling. And with the straps, what we're going to do is just a single stitch all the way down. Once we're done that, we are going to turn them inside out. Now I like to use a metal straw and a blunt object that sort of fits into the end of the straw to shimmy up the tube that you're trying to turn inside out. There's a few different techniques for this, but this is what I have found works the best. And then once you get that through, you can just sort of pull it through on itself. And then get that ironed and do a couple of straight stitches all the way around. You're going to do sort of a great big rectangle. Just going to fold in the ends first, and then a giant rectangle around. I like to do about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And once all 3 of your pieces are sewn, you are ready to hem the top of the bag and start assembling it. So I'm just going to use about 1/2 inch folded and then fold again with 1 full inch. Again, you probably won't need your iron for this because linen folds so nicely on its own. Once that's done, we're just going to find exactly where we want our straps. Starting with one side, we can just pin that in place. I like to do crisscross pins. I don't actually sew over the pins once I'm sewing, but it just gives me a good idea of how long the straps are going to be. And quickly measure, make sure that both your straps are going to be equal distances from the side of the bag. And then you can flip it over and do the other side. The second side I don't usually measure, I just sort of feel through the bag where the other ones are and match it up that way. And then with a straight stitch, I will sew a little square and then an X across the center of each of these. And once you're done that, you are basically done your tote bag. You could leave it here, but I am going to give it a little more shape by popping out the bottom and I'll be sewing a straight stitch just along the edge. So I'm measuring from the corner, and then I've done a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch, and then I can just cut those out, and it just gives the bag a little bit of shape, but it's definitely not a necessary part. And once you're done that, you can just flip it inside out, and you've got your completed tote bag. You can see how the bottom looks after I've given it that structure, and all that's left to do now is to do some trimming of threads, my least favorite part. And just like that, you have completed your linen tote bag. And it's all ready to go to the farmer's market or the library, or to be stuffed with snacks and diapers like mine probably will. Thank you so much for watching, and please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more sewing, DIY, and thrifting videos. Have an awesome day.